takes a lot to cancel that wedding, man. You're already into it emotionally, your head, your heart. You've told everybody. So what could possibly go sideways where you're like, nope, that's just not for me. We're not getting married.
Maybe if your fiance makes a secret deal with your dad about your own life, that might be a good reason. But that's not the question. Is she the a-hole? And she is asking this. The bride wants to know if she's the a-hole for canceling her wedding because of this. She writes, I'm 28 and I was supposed to get married 2 months ago to my 30-year-old fiance. We had been together for 5 years and he proposed during a vacation in Santorini and it felt like it was the most perfect moment of my life. I truly believed I had found my person. Planning the wedding was stressful but exciting, and I come from a well-off family. My dad had offered to pay for a large portion of it. He's always been a little bit controlling, especially when it comes to money, and he used to tell me growing up that I needed to protect myself financially, especially in relationships. And I thought it was just fatherly advice. Sometimes it bordered on paranoid, but I chalked it up to him having seen some ugly divorces in his line of work. He's a lawyer. 2 weeks before the wedding, my dad and I were having lunch and going over some final guest list stuff when he said something that completely blindsided me. I don't remember his exact words, but it was something like, at least now I know he signed the prenup. Money well spent. And I literally paused mid-bite. I asked him what he meant, and he brushed it off at first, then said he had offered my fiance a significant sum of money to sign a prenup he drafted months ago. Not a mutual prenup, not something we created together, something my dad wrote up himself behind my back, and my fiance agreed to it. I went home that night and confronted my fiance, and at first he looked like a deer in headlights, and then he admitted it. Yes, my dad approached him with a prenup. Yes, he signed it. And yes, he accepted the money from my dad. His reasoning, he didn't want to stress me out. He said my dad was being intense and he just wanted to keep the peace. He claimed he was always planning to tell me eventually. He just didn't know how. The part that hurt the most wasn't even the prenup itself, and honestly, I understand the value of one, especially with the wealth imbalance between me and my fiance, and I would have been fine discussing it openly. What broke me was the secrecy. The fact that the two most important men in my life made a deal about my future without me. The fact that money was exchanged like my marriage was some business arrangement. I felt like I was being handled, not respected. I called off the wedding the next day. It wasn't a dramatic scene. I just told him I couldn't go into a marriage with that kind of breach of trust hanging over us. And he begged me to reconsider. He said it was a stupid mistake, that he did it for me, that he didn't want to start our life together with conflict. He said we could rip up the prenup, but the damage was done. He made a life-altering financial decision about our marriage without even consulting me. And the only reason I found out was because my dad accidentally let it slip. Since then, everyone has had an opinion. My mom thinks I overreacted and says I'm throwing away a great relationship over a technicality. My friends are split. Some say I dodged a bullet. Others think I'm being cold. My dad, who caused all of this, is now acting like he was the victim and said he was just trying to protect me. My ex has been texting and calling nonstop, saying he still wants to make things right. I miss him. I still love him, but I can't shake the feeling that if he hid this from me before the wedding, what else would he be willing to hide in the future? So, am I the a-hole for calling the whole thing off?
Did they say that this was a technicality? The mom said this is a technicality.
Yep.
It's not a technicality.
So this is, I think, a prime example of intent versus impact, right? I don't think the fiance had any malicious intent. I think the dad put him in a very precarious position. He loves her. He wants to marry her. He was trying to protect her. I actually believe him. And so he did this thinking he was doing what was best, but in actuality was so wrong. So would I have called off the wedding? No. But would I have disinvited my father to the wedding? Yes.
Whoa. Dang, really? Okay.
That
Didn't
would
see that coming.
her dad, like him being the one to instigate that. Like, and I mean, I know that's very harsh, and that's coming from somebody who was extremely tight with her dad. That level of control and manipulation, because for the dad, that's not just like, and I know you can say, well, you can also, say it's intent versus impact. He's just trying to take care of you, like as his baby girl. He wants to make sure she's protected. But that to me is so much more sketch as far as his plotting and planning than what the fiance did.
To me, the bigger infraction here, the bigger betrayal is my fiance not coming to me and filling me in on what's going on. Like the fact that I'm about to hitch my life to you for the next 50, 60, 70 years, and you can't even confront me about a very big decision that you've decided to make with my father. Like my dad, as they get older, sometimes they need a software update or two. Sometimes they don't think things through all the way. Whereas you're my fiance, you're supposed to be my teammate, and you've gone behind my back and done something I didn't consent to.
So here is a phase of mental health that I am going through right now with my therapist. And that is seeing the red flags and then overriding what you're seeing and saying like it's not that big a deal. And then it ends up blowing up in your face months or years later, right? So this is such an incredibly big red flag that I don't know that I would have canceled it, but I would feel very differently about my relationship. That's a straight up lie, man. That's a manipulation behind your back. And that could be one of those cases for me where the switch would be flipped and I'd feel differently about the relationship in one day.
I see what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm thinking like if I'm a 28 to 30 year old and my fiance's super rich dad is pressuring me before the wedding to like sign a prenup, like if I say no, it's going to seem like I'm only there for the money to be a gold digger. So I kind of lean into Kristen. Like I think the intent was good, and I think it would be the catalyst for a conversation of no lies in our marriage ever. You and I answer to each other, not to my dad, and then I'd probably go forward with the wedding.
Wouldn't there be cases for you guys where if something happens, that's it? I mean, even if you wanted to continue the relationship, heart's done.
No.
Door closed.
I'm good at this point. I'll take you. If you're marrying me, we can walk down the aisle.
The Bert Show.